Hello fellow makers, welcome to Hypermix and this is my friend Vox.
Hi.
So today we will be comparing the disadvantages and advantages of conversion of our two bikes, which is one is a hub motor and the second one, which is designed by Mox himself, is a mid-drive conversion. So let's get with it.
We would be starting with quite a bit of a history that how we came up with this idea. So I bought my cycle back around 5-6 years ago, back when I was in class 10. And recently during this lockdown, as I was cycling with my friend Tejal, it came to my mind that how cool it would be if I ride it with a motor and automize it a bit. So I had this back in my mind, and the next thing, after a few months, I came to learn that Purnendu is building a cycle. So that inspired me a bit. I ordered my stuff and started to build it. So how did you come up with building a e-bike?
So actually my experience is a little bit different. When I was in college, before this lockdown, obviously, I bought my cycle in a local store, 22 e-bikes, and it was good. I was riding there, but after this lockdown hit me, I was really free in my home, but I was not able to understand what should I do with this bike.
Right.
Then I came up with the idea to convert it to e-bike. So I also ordered my parts online. Then I started assembling my e-bike.
All right. So Purnendu, where did you get your stuff to make your e-bike from?
All of my stuff was from online. Mainly the hub motor kit which I ordered was from AliExpress. But now, unfortunately, the site has been banned by our government.
Yeah.
So that is not a problem because now you can order from some sellers that also provide in India also. So that's not a big deal. And apart from that, Amazon was really handy for buying this headlamp or turn lights that I have been mounted. And the battery case was also bought from AliExpress. And the batteries which were built into this case are supplied by Indian supplier actually. I got it from a wholesaler at a very cheap rate.
The monitor and all, they were included in the kit, right?
Yeah, my kit included mainly, I'm telling you right now, the e-bike brakes, okay, then the display, the controller, the small connectors which are used to connect the display to the controller so that I can change the parameters while on the go. And this last is the hub motor.
Why didn't you include the disc brake over there? I saw there was a little space for them.
Yeah, there was space, but I decided not to use the disc brake because there was no hub space left. So if I added the disc brake, it was rubbing against the jaws of the disc brake, right? So I had to scratch it out from the idea.
You included a pass, something like you call it
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pass
yeah.
or something.
Pass, or we can call it a pedal assist sensor, right? It is a small wheel, plastic wheel, which consists of some magnets. So according to the rotation of speed and rotation of the magnets, it will help you while pedaling, like your throttle mode. And the second one is the pass mode. So in the pass mode, it is very helpful for long drives actually. While you're traveling in NH or something like 40 to 50 kilometers of total trip, you can activate the pass. Then for minimum amount of battery consumption, it will give you the highest efficiency according to your speed of the bike.
You also included a 12 volt DC converter for your headlight and all the.
Yep, it was really
indicator.
necessary because 54 volts is a overkill for all of this. I had to convert it to 12 volts, a regular standard for all motorcycles or car or e-bike.
Right.
Yeah. So that I can power all these things.
So I got my kit from Amazon itself. The supplier was YF Gold, and it was actually it's actually called a conversion of e-rickshaw kit, and I used it in my cycle. It's a 750 watt package kit. I used low level cutoff brakes and a display monitor that I bought from website called Robu, and I used all of my kit. I used a GI sheet metal of 0.2 mm to make this box. Inside this there are my battery that I got from which wasn't included in the kit, by the way. I got it from the same place where you got your batteries. He actually helped me with the wholesaler contact. And,
Yeah.
what was the name of the
Yeah, we can give a small shout out to our homegrown Indian sellers. So the name was arbaccessories.in, right?
Right.
They are OEM wholesalers. His battery was custom made according to his specifications.
Yeah, my battery was actually a 20 ampere lithium ion battery, rechargeable, and I'll tell you the specifications quite shortly. And my kit actually included headlights, the kind of lights that you see over here, but I didn't put it in my cycle. It also included a small chain to connect the motor and the back wheel sprocket, and most importantly, it had a charger for charging my battery, and a motor, and a bus connector, which also I didn't include. Except the bus connector, I used a bullet connectors that were quite in handy. Apart from this, I bought a disc brake from Amazon, double threaded hub, a back wheel hub, for connecting my motor to my cycle. And the chain that they included in the kit was a very short length, so I used a motorcycle chain that was of Splendor, I guess. It was of perfect size, except I had to take out some links, and the length was quite fine with it. So that's all. Those are the things that we used, and some home tools for
Yeah,
making
you
this,
need some basic,
like a
you know,
spanner.
mechanic tools, so you can
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
So that you
Like
can adjust your, Allen keys, and you need Allen keys and some spanners also actually.
yeah,
So that
they will quite come in handy very much. So that's it. That's all the things that I used in my cycle. Yeah, that's it. And we'll move on to a brief explanation of how we made the procedure, how we went through it. So you go first.
So for converting my type of e-bike, which is a hub motor conversion kit, the basic, most important need is this hub motor, as you can see here. It was pre-assembled, and by pre-assembled I mean that these spokes were already netted to the whole rim. Yeah. Then second thing is that I had to assemble this battery over here. Specifically, if I have to tell, it is a 48 volt Hylong case battery. The battery building procedure was pretty simple. First of all, I had to check all the batteries were in a similar range of voltages. Then I had to spot weld them. Then the last thing was to do connect a BMS. Battery was completed. It was time for a small test, right? I connected this controller in this part of this bike, then connected the motor, and did a small test if it was working or not, because you should first check the kit before mounting the kit in the bike, because it is very important.
I want you to explain what BMS is. That's quite an important part in the battery, and I want you to briefly explain it. Like
Yeah, in my previous video actually, many have commented about the BMS, what kind of BMS was used here. So first of all, BMS stands for battery management system. It's a circuit that continuously checks for the voltages and voltage level of all the cells, then tries to balance it out throughout the pack. So for each parallel set, it will try to balance out all the voltages for each pack so that it remains same. Why it does that? Because if the voltage difference is quite much big, the batteries will start discharging to each other. What happens that after this discharge take place, for small period of time it's not noticeable, but for long run you will see that battery has lost many of its capacity. The last thing was to just attach the display and do all the wiring and cabling management.
And the wires and cables, all you got in the kit itself, right? It was a whole set.
Yes, some I will tell you right now. Good question actually. Some connectors and some wires were included in the kit, but like the turn lights or the headlamp, I had to do it myself, buying from Amazon, right?
Also, one thing, what did you attach there? The small metal piece right here.
These are called torque arms, if you are able to see or not. A small metallic strip has been attached to the frame where the wheel is attached to the fork, right? So what it does is that, as you know, these hub motors have very much torque. So eventually, if you are suddenly increasing the throttle, in long run what we will do is that it will wear out the fork space where you attach the wheel, right? So to prevent that, not to wear out this fork space, we have attached some small metal strip called torque arm. It evenly distributes the torque in the frame so that it is not stressing out this only fork space. Okay, now Moksha will tell you how he converted his normal bicycle to a mid-drive conversion e-bike.
Unlike your cycle, Punnendu, I had to go under very, like, there were a lot of complications in my cycle, as I am attaching a BLDC motor to it. And so inside this box, mainly the first thing that I had to do is cut out this frame and make a box type shape to put my battery and voltage controller and all my wires in it. And to cover it up, it was looking so messy, so I had to cover it up with a GI sheet metal. That I actually made that GI sheet metal in a nearby BMS workshop. It's called EndFab, where I met Dipesh sir and Anikesh sir and Spandan sir. They helped me a lot to build this specifically in AutoCAD. Actually, I used CATIA to build the box frame of it, but due to human error and all those like scaling problems and all those, I had to cut that plan, and I had to go old school and make a cardboard box first. Then I replicated it to a GI sheet metal. So that's how I did it, and it's basic. There's a throttle there's a throttle on the handle, and that's connected to the voltage regulator. The current comes from the battery, and the BLDC motor is actually a 750 watt BLDC motor, and my battery is 20 amperes. The regulator is for 750. The regulator is for 750 watt 48 volts regulator. And the chain is this is actually a motorcycle Splendor chain, and it's connected from the motor to back wheel of the sprocket. This is a dual thread hub that I bought it and attached to it. So basically that's how I did it, and I welded all those stuff together and did a paint job in it. This isn't its original year, and to
Yeah, it is. It looks beautiful actually. The black matte finish is very good.
yeah, so that's how I did it, and I wanted to make it look like a naked. I wanted to give it a naked body look and a matte black finish. So that's how I went with the look, and I changed the set. I introduced disc brake, and I had a small problem with my display throttle, so I replaced it with a voltage and display monitor, and I will also put a speedometer to it to know the speed, of course. So yeah, I also had to take out this V brakes from it in order to place disc brake, because V brakes won't make it with the motor's speed and the torque that it's producing. So approximately it produces a torque of 10 Newton per meter. So that's how I went with it. So this is a brief on how I made my cycle. What are the complications that you faced during making this project of yours?
Yeah, so for the complications, there are two main categories. First one is for the battery, obviously.
Yeah.
The second one is for the hub motor, right? So for the battery, first problem I faced was that main switch, right? When you buy this Hylon case battery, it provides a small red switch with it. And the problem is that with the amount of current being used by this motor, it normally will, burn the switch like a fuse. Literally, it will blow out. So I had to, actually I didn't know about this. So first I used it in series with the battery, but next I had to short that battery, connectors using a thick wire gauge copper wire, so that it will just short it and it will be a direct connection to the controller. And the second one is that BMS space, right? One problem is that if you are trying to make my configuration, that is 13S5P battery configuration for the 48 volt battery, there will be very much less space left in the battery case to fit the BMS inside. So I had to tweak and search for the space. If any space is left in the battery, yeah, there was a small space at the right side of the here, almost here. Last thing which you need to consider before building a battery is that before spot welding you should solder the balance wires to the spot weld nickel strips. Okay, because what I faced that when I was soldering the wires to the spot welded nickel strips, it was not the battery was taking all the heat from the solder tab actually. So instead of soldering the wire to the nickel strip, the battery was getting hot, which is very bad for the battery. That's why I'm recommending you to solder the balance wires before spot welding the nickel strips in the battery.
Right.
And yes, the second problem was with the motor, and there was only one problem, which was the rear fork hub space, right? Before ordering my kit, I did not check the hub space of my bike. So after it reached my home, when I tried to assemble it, I found that the hub space was
Quite
short of
Very
almost
large.
20 mm.
Right.
Yeah, so what I had to do was cold setting the rear fork. For the hub motor, you have to check the hub space before ordering the kit. So these were the things that I faced in my hub motor conversion for my bike to e-bike. Now, what were the things you faced while this conversion?
Right. So the display throttle that I bought was of 24 volts. So and my battery is 48 volts. So it was always showing like full battery. So I consulted with him and we went to make a voltage bridge for it. So I had to buy another voltage and battery display monitor. So that is this. The second complication was to make a CATIA design first, but due to human error, it didn't go well. So I had to go old school and make a cardboard box first, then come to GI sheet. Another complication that I faced was initially the motor was quite big length and it was touching my legs. So I had to take out the gears from it and I had to make it smaller. And in that process, I welded this sprocket permanently with the axle of the motor, which in turn had a major failure in future, led to burning of the inside coil, which I had to rewind again, and I had heating problems with it. So what happens is during no load current, there is no heat generated in this motor's wire. This is a three-phase motor. But when load is put onto when we are riding it, as it draws more current for the motor to run, it produces heat. The chain that I fixed it was touching my cycle's frame, so I had to cut out a piece of this frame. Which I will weld again using a small piece of metal or something like that. So another major complication that I faced was during fixing this back wheel sprocket. This is actually a right side sprocket, but I used it in the left side as I wanted to separate both the chains. So what I did was to weld it. This wasn't getting fixed in the left hand side, so I had to weld it, which destroyed my ball bearing and it was quite unstable. So I had to buy another sprocket, 28 teeth sprocket, and I had to argon welded this. Another complication was fixing that disc brake. Alright, the same process that you used cold setting.
Yeah.
I used the same. I used a car jack to equally divide the fork of the cycle's frame. So that's how I did it, and I used Loctite, Loctite, so that the thread doesn't come out as I'm using disc brake in the right hand side of the cycle. So these are the major complications that I face. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe him for more videos like this, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We
Yeah,
are
I will
not
link
so much
my
in Facebook.
handle and his handle in the description below. And if you have any queries or question, also we will try to answer it in the comment section.
Yeah.
So that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.